Hello, and welcome to Around the Political World with John Rothman. I am your host, John Rothman. If you're a fan of the show, make sure to hit the follow button on the top right of Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening at this very moment. When you hit follow, leave a review, or share an episode with a friend. It helps other people discover the show, keeps us going, and as I like to remind you each and every day, it expands our base. Trump versus Biden. Two visions and a choice, not an echo, which we will have to make in November. Joe Biden is at the D-Day commemorations now in France. He spoke this morning eloquently about democracy and freedom and the need to preserve those cornerstones of who we are. Joe Biden spoke with eloquence and passion and power. While Joe Biden was speaking, Donald Trump also has been speaking. He has been speaking about retribution, about going after political enemies, about weaponizing the presidency and the Justice Department. It is a stark contrast between two visions of the world and two visions of America. Joe Biden wants to strengthen our NATO alliances, wants to strengthen our work together to help save Ukraine from Russian aggression. Donald Trump is echoing the old isolationist wing of the Republican Party, which was not prepared to put everything on the line for freedom. One can only speculate what Ronald Reagan, were he alive today, would be thinking about the expressions of Donald Trump and too many in the Republican Party. When one talks about a challenge, well, this is it. This may be the clear demarcation between Trump and Biden. Oh, yes, there are domestic considerations. We just saw the Republicans in the House of Representatives and in the Senate take very peculiar stands on the question of a woman's right to choose and contraception. And yes, these are serious matters. Make no mistake, those issues will be decided by who is President of the United States. Those issues will be decided by who controls the House and Senate, Democrats or Republicans. When I think about a presidential campaign, or yes, a congressional campaign, I generally take a piece of lined paper, draw a line down the middle, put the two candidates in question and their stands on issues to contrast where they really stand. Because who is president matters. We've talked about this repeatedly. I can assure you with every fiber of my being that our allies in Europe, the members of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, and so many others, want Joe Biden elected because they do not want to see Donald Trump as president. In invoking former Republican presidents, I am reminded of a story which I have told you before, but I think it is worth listening to. In 1951, Dwight D. Eisenhower, who was the supreme commander of Allied forces in Europe and the first general in charge of NATO, came to Washington. He met with leaders of the United States Senate, including Robert A. Taft, who then was the leading Republican nominee for President of the United States. Everybody thought that he would be elected in 1952 if he won the Republican nomination. And when Taft and Eisenhower met, Taft expressed the view that he opposed NATO, that Eisenhower would soon be coming home because there would be no need for a North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Eisenhower was appalled. And it was, according to what Ike himself said, that moment which caused him to decide to run for the Republican nomination for president in 1952. We all know that Eisenhower won narrowly at the Republican convention. 100 votes less separated Eisenhower and Taft. And the reason that Eisenhower won the nomination was not just because of his charisma and power. It was because the Dewey Republicans, the Republicans who were committed to internationalism won the day. It was Dewey's political machine which put Eisenhower over the top. Sadly, there is no liberal Dewey wing of the Republican Party today. That means that Republicans themselves are going to have to choose between the vision of Eisenhower and Reagan versus the vision of Trump and his supporters. It's just that simple. We face a clear and decisive moment in American history. And I've listened carefully to Joe Biden. Joe Biden is in command of the facts, the evidence, and he is putting himself on the line by supporting the freedom of Ukraine and Vladimir Zelensky. I want you all to understand that this is a true turning point. Joe Biden is no Chamberlain. Joe Biden is no appeaser. Joe Biden is standing up for what is right. Every morning when I prepare for this podcast, I think about the issues I could address, all of the issues, and believe me, I wish I had the time to do it all. But the most important message I can send to you in this podcast on this day is that the future of the Western Alliance, the future of democracy, is on the line in this election. Joe Biden's articulation of the facts are clear, and he is right. And yes, Donald Trump is wrong. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Around the Political World with John Rothman. You can interact with me by going to LinkedIn, Facebook, because I want to know what you think. It's important because that is the way I learn and that is the way we interact. And I want to say a special thank you to the wonderful producer of Around the Political World with John Rothman, Gogo Zoger. And to all of you, have a great weekend. I'll be back on Monday. Who knows where the world will be, but I know where we will be. We will be right here on Around the Political World with John Rothman.